we're right in the middle of training camp right now, and there are some signs of improvement, even though we've got a long way to go before we're worth me saying that we're a good football team, because we're not right now. But I still believe there's a possibility that we're going to be, and hopefully be pretty soon. But we have made some improvement, especially in a couple positions. I think our wide receivers have made a big improvement. We've got a couple freshman safeties that are playing well that look like they might be able to play this year, so that's a good sign.
Coach, when you say you're not sure yet if you're a good football team, do you are they sleepless nights at this point? If there's something that was on your mind like that, hope we get this right, or hope we come together in one particular area at all, or is it just something you know will eventually come together?
Well, I don't know if it'll come together or not, but I don't lose any sleep over it, because I've been doing it for a long time, and we'll find out if we get to the point where we're a good football team as soon as we play somebody else besides ourselves. So you never know until you actually play somebody else, and I've been through that enough now that it doesn't make me lose sleep at night.
Coach, for our news department, is the chicken pox of it? Where are you with the chicken pox now? Is it?
Well, I'm afraid to say, but because I don't want to jinx us, but we've gone 2 straight days without any new cases. So far it looks like we got it under control. Now we still have a few guys that aren't back to practice yet, but they think they'll be back real soon.
Is there an outreach all across this athletic department and this campus to make sure everybody was safe, and were you a part of that effort if it did happen?
That everybody was what? Well, I think everybody's pretty safe. That seems a little extreme to me. Safe. I mean, I think everybody did what they should do and required to do. I mean, as soon as we found out we had some cases, we isolated them. They got medication. Anybody else that showed any kind of signs came in and saw the doctor, and they were treated or told they were just fine, and we've moved on. And like I said, for 2 straight days, we haven't had any new cases. So I've been told, because I know nothing about it, that there's a period of 10 to 14 days that it could still pop up, but we're hoping that it's not going to pop up anymore.
So the people that you send cultures, have you gotten those back yet? Or how many of them?
Well, if we have, they haven't told me.
How has it affected camp? Has it slowed things down, or is it just a blip on the screen?
Well, I think it slowed things down for the guys that aren't practicing. But the guys continue to practice. Obviously, they're making progress. And so it's not going to hurt our football team by any means, but the guys that are fighting for playing time, the guys that don't get to practice, it's hurting their efforts to get into the starting lineup or get into a playing position, so I kind of feel sorry for them.
You want to talk about the offensive line and being the key this season? What can you tell us about their progress at this point?
I think we're pretty comfortable that we have 2 redshirt freshmen that are going to play pretty well. Now, I'm not going to tell you which ones they are until after I watch them on Saturday, because that's going to be our biggest scrimmage, and they're going to get a lot of reps. But so far, they've played pretty well. Antonio Rosales is our most experienced lineman, and he's one of the 5 guys that is out with chickenpox. But that might be a blessing in disguise, because we know he can play. As long as he gets back a week before the game, we know he can play, so it gives some other guys an opportunity for a lot more reps. So we'll see how they do Saturday before I tell you which ones that I think have proved that they can play this year.
Is that when you're going to decide the backup quarterback as well?
No, we'll come out 10 days before the game. First game, we'll come out with a pretty legit depth chart.
Did Agnew have an advantage at all because he was the backup last year, or is that
I think anybody that's been in your program has an advantage against someone that is brand new to your program for whatever reason.
Are you looking forward to getting back into your building on Saturday?
Yeah, it is, right? Aztec Warrior Stadium. That ought to be the name on the side. If I had any money, I would be the sponsor and put that on the side of the stadium, but I don't have that kind of money. No, I think our players, anytime they go down there, it adds to the excitement of their practice. And it's been a long time since I've been a player, but most players don't like to practice, but they like to play. And going to the stadium and scrimmaging is just like playing. So they'll be there with the right attitude, and they'll be there to have some fun. And it's really a great time to play or have a scrimmage because it doesn't matter who wins and loses. So you can really play just for the fun of the game.
How different will the experience be now with Big Brother gone?
I have no idea. I mean, it didn't make any difference to us when they were here. So I don't assume there'll be any difference with them gone.
But like field markings should be more than you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I might try to convince the people that line the field to line it just like they always have, so that there's 2 sets of hash marks and 2 sets of numbers, even though the hash marks are designated a different way. I think that gave us an advantage because we painted our practice field just like the stadium field. So a lot of people use the hash marks and the numbers as spots where they're 2 yards outside the numbers, 2 yards inside the numbers for formations and such. And when they run pass routes, they're based on where the hash marks and the numbers are a lot of the time. And so since we practiced on a pro field with college little markings so everybody knew it, I think our guys it didn't bother our guys at all, but it bothered some visiting teams. So I'm for them painting it like they always did. So we have a little bit of an advantage. But I don't think they're gonna. I think our league has already addressed that.
You want Aztecs in the end zone or San Diego or
Well, I don't get involved in that. Whatever they put out there is fine with us.
Coach, off the topic, we do a high school football segment each week. We pick a team and we cover them. We call it our pro treatment. So Hilltop is going to be our first team next week. Brandon brought it to my attention that Drew Westling is the head coach
Yeah.
at Hilltop. And your past, was he at the
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year? Your
One-
thoughts, did you think you're the head coach in the making? What was your thoughts on Drew?
I never know. You can always tell players that want to be coaches by how involved they are. And he was one of those that was really, really involved. They want to know not only what their assignment is, what everybody else's assignment is, and why. Where most players don't care about anything but their assignment, right? They don't care about what the philosophy is or what the strategy is. They just want to know what they do. And they don't really care what everybody else does. So any player that is concerned about what everybody else does and wants to know why you're doing something, they have signs that they want to be a coach. And he was one of those guys that was always questioning.
how's the punting shaping up?
Our punter's doing just fine. Now, nobody's rushed him or anything yet. I mean, but we're gonna live scrimmage the kicking game on Saturday too. So we'll get a good idea on how he does when there's actually pressure on.
At the scrimmage Saturday, is there any area in particular you're really intrigued to see or is it a good everything?
Not anymore. Not anything special. I just know that there are some guys that people might be seeing only for a few snaps, and there's some guys they won't even know who they are. They'll see out there for a lot of snaps. So hopefully someone steps up and singles himself out so people wonder who he is. Quiet crew today. Not football season yet, right? Not any real games.
Oh, heck, you guys prep the next week. We got prep, so you know. Life's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like high school football. I think you guys ought to start a movement. High schools play on Friday, colleges play on Saturdays, and the pros play on Sunday only. How about that?
My boss would be full agreement.
I think that's the way it should be, but obviously nobody wants my opinion.